Hey, how's it going, everybody? I think that some of you are back, hopefully with refills. We're still here, at least some of us are. And we're going to talk about the death of gaming conventions.
Oh God!
Tonight's topic
Too
is
soon, Brian. Too
a
soon, Brian.
little more somber than
KC, have a
many
drink.
of our friends. What's that?
KC, have a drink.
What the fuck?
Right out of the gate.
I'll join you.
Turtle Dove, way to use those new cards that you got.
Add a kid.
So E3, Gary Con, ASIN. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Your favorite shows says Beth. 5-pack shows.
What's that?
5-pack shows.
Beth said 5-packs shows also
right?
canceled.
All of your favorite game conventions have been canceled due to the coronavirus. And the damage is a lot wider reaching, I think, than folks really realize. Yes, you don't get to go play games, but many businesses are really, truly impacted by the fact that you aren't there spending your money at them. KC's convention got closed. I'm going to lose out on a lot of money from not doing conventions this year. But I'm lucky in the fact that I have another job to back myself up with, right? A lot of conventions are probably not going to resurface next year because their margins are razor thin. And suffering a loss like this, they might not get all of their fees and deposits refunded. And that could cause a number of them to go down permanently. And remember, a lot of people who are organizing game conventions do so not for pure profits, but because they're passionate about the hobby, right? They want you there to have fun. They're doing it for you. Even tabletop events just announced that they're going out of business permanently. Matt, you want to explain who tabletop events is?
Maybe not.
So
what they do, and why they're going out of business?
There's a ton of event websites available out there, but tabletop events is, to my knowledge, the only one that is focused on tabletop gaming conventions. There's a whole, you can go to any number of other websites that have event scheduling and event planning, but there is not another one out there that has tabletop event planning, and they are specifically tailored to planning games at a convention. And it is the most useful tool that I have for CobaltCon at all. And
right. And many conventions had.
Hundreds of conventions.
So,
Warhorn's another one, yeah, for sure. I'm not sure, are they still around? Is Warhorn still a thing? But yeah, regardless, tabletop.events has taken the tabletop gaming convention circuit by storm, and unfortunately it sounds like they were running by the skin of their teeth up to this point. When the conventions all started closing and canceling, they tanked super fast.
So they had to refund all the money.
Yeah, they were the number one. It's this hobby, this industry runs on incredibly razor thin margins. And your support means everything. And I'll continue to talk about that, but there's a classic example. Almost every small convention was running off of tabletop events. I don't think Gen Con did. They have their own system, but virtually every other convention did. And now that's just gone.
Thanks, Phil Taurus.
Right.
Go ahead.
And point in case, GaryCon was probably one of tabletop events' larger conventions, and we were able to pull that. I wouldn't say a loophole in the system, but we were able. Danny drink. We were able to capitalize on the fact that you can make a free. You can do a free badge. Hey, Rayo.
Thanks, Ray.
Rayo. We got a Rayo.
Zeltaris brought his group.
Zeltaris, thank you. Welcome. We were able to capitalize on the fact that you could still get a free badge, and that's how we were able to launch virtual GaryCon. But they just recently, like within the last 2 or 3 days, announced that there's no more of that. You can't get it free anymore because they need the money so badly. Yeah, that they've now adopted a $2 minimum for badges.
They're at their halfway mark right now on their fundraiser. So So they are halfway there.
If you are watching and you are able and willing to do a game for Con of Champions,
Con of Champions.
tabletop.events, HTTP tabletop.events, go run a game for them and help support them, because we got to keep, if they get to their $56,000 mark, that'll keep them alive for the rest of the year, which is their best guess on when conventions will start coming back.
Yep. Yep.
What do you think, Brian? What's your best guess from the I see that guy at every convention expert's perspective?
So, I don't think that's the end of it, because I think what people don't realize too, like you're seeing your cons fold right now. And as I mentioned, cons barely make enough money to run the con the next year. Okay. And that's not the end. Your friendly local gaming store, they're struggling too right now. They might not be around next year. Most of them rely on big events like Magic the Gathering tournaments and organized play to bring in the crowds of people to buy books and dice. Owners of these businesses, they do have razor thin profit margins and barely stay open from month to month already as it is, right? Most of these people are not super savvy businessmen. They're people who are passionate about the game and want to provide that service to the community. But do you know who is profiting? What business right now do you guys think is making the most money off of all this?
Amazon with their markups.
For fucking sure it is, right? It's absolutely right. Because everyone is like, hey, I don't want to go out of my house. I'm going to buy XYZ on Amazon. And I don't begrudge anyone for doing so, right? It makes perfect sense. But Amazon, their sales are booming because people don't want to go out. And Amazon has long been crowding the friendly local gaming store out of business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think it's really
only making it worse.
What's that?
Okay.
I'm just saying it only makes it worse.
This is getting super fucking depressing. So let's
yeah. So Bash King, Jeff's spot on though, and that's a perfect example. It's $300 for a fucking C920 webcam now, when it was $50 before all this crap started.
Amazon's bot crawlers run the web. They know how much everything goes for, and the minute that they can raise their prices, they do.
Yeah.
So, okay, I know it's depressing, but let me continue. Like I said, this is a
Only
little
depressing because nobody made us drink.
Guys, I've still got like this much. I need to finish it. So this is just ridiculous, but I can often buy new books at Amazon at prices that are less than I could buy them as a business owner from distribution. Okay.
Turtle Dove.
Hey,
here's to you, Turtle Dove, and the new cards you're playing. The Wizards cheer you. And Casey, have another drink on the house. From King Bashman.
Who is that?
That's Jeffrey.
Jeff. Thought we were friends, man.
Delicious. So
delicious. All right.
If I as a business owner have to buy my books through distribution and then resell them to the public, generally at a discount because Amazon provides them so cheaply, what's your margin at your friendly local gaming store? If they're selling for 15% off to try and get you into the door to even look at their products, I mean,
cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Loki.
Thank you.
Right out of the bottle.
You're damn right. I'll do the math for you. Most of your friendly local gaming stores are only making 30% on the products that you buy.
Maybe.
Okay. That is a terrible, terrible margin. And they have to in order to compete with Amazon. Sometimes it's even less. So if you want your companies like myself, I'm not going to conventions. I'm only selling on my own website, totalpartykillgames.com. If you want those companies to survive, your local gaming store, you need to realize that you're investing in the community and that business. Call your local store or get on their website. I'm sure they will take your money and they will allow you to order from them. And if you can't reconcile paying full price to help them out, help them through this crisis, ask them if they'll make you a discount. almost guaranteed that they will, right? And despite playing virtually right now, you can still get dice and all kinds of fun accessories from us, from other people. But it's going to be a challenging time, and the things that you love, you need to support in order to keep them around. And I'm really worried about a lot of small gaming conventions and your community stores. So, what do you guys think?
Yeah, and I think you touched on it there at the beginning, but we don't make CoboCon makes no money. In fact, we lost money last year. I won't go into how much, but it wasn't an extreme amount, but we lost money on last year just by.
And why do you do that, Matt?
Well, I think that it's not an exorbitant amount of money, and it's not, from my perspective, my wife. How I sell it to my wife, let's put it that way, is the fact that it is still a hobby. The fact that I'm getting everybody together and doing all this, most of it's paid for. We didn't lose a ton of money last year, but I mean, this year we lost a lot more because there's just certain things that we already invested, all the money that we already put into to whatever it was. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that was already paid for that we can't get back.
Right. And you're probably not going to be alone. There's going to be a number of conventions out there that get screwed from, the deposits, the fees, this, that, the other thing, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's no fault to some of that. I mean, that's just the way, like if I've paid for a service already, thanks, Beth. I saw your comment. I'll talk to you later for sure. That's just, I mean, I've already paid for something. I've already bought it. I've got it. I've got the physical thing for, let's say prizes, for example. I have the physical object in my hand. That money's just gone, right? I mean, there's no recourse there. It's not like it's somebody's fault. We just were prepping for the convention and got cut off midstream, so to speak. So, but yeah, I mean, small conventions in particular, and I know that some of the larger conventions certainly are money-making machines, but the small and the mid-level ones definitely are in it because they enjoy it and love it, not because they're making money.
Right. There's local conventions in Iowa that are gaming centric, meaning they're not open to comic book fans and anime fans. It's just gaming. And they've been going around for 30 years. Like they've been doing this forever. And somehow, year after year, they make just enough money to get by and provide that service for the next year. And it's things like this where we're completely shut down. We can't gather in public. They rely on people going and spending money, and they may not resurface in a year. So just think about that when this all breaks. Number one, spend now if you can, if you have that luxury. And I know that not everyone does, but when these conventions come back to life, I mean, they're going to need everyone's support.
Yep. And I didn't mean to imply that big conventions don't have expenses.
Of course they do.
They certainly do. I mean, astronomical expenses.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Danny, you're chomping at the bit, buddy.
Yeah. So.
Oh, here goes.
Amazon.
I'll just take that drink now.
Amazon employs a lot of people where I live.
Mm-hmm.
I want those people to get paychecks too.
For sure.
I love friendly local gaming stores,
mm-hmm.
and I hate to be this guy, but I am this guy after this many drinks. I've been in plenty of friendly local gaming stores that couldn't give a shit about their RPG players.
Yeah.
They want you there to buy figs and paint, and they want you to play Warhammer, and they want you to play things that they can keep selling you from a company from overseas.
Right.
The market that loves this will still love it.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a business. It is a hobby that we've had this conversation before. This is a hobby that has two major players in it that sit at the top of it. Hasbro and it's, and probably Pathfinder, the Paizo guys. Everybody else just kind of is underneath that. So I always feel that all those people under that are mostly doing it for love. They will come back. But the truth is, this is the big pivot. What happened at Virtual GaryCon, that's not going to stop happening. And the idea, I said this a long time ago, and I believe this forever. It's going to kill everybody who's listening to me to say it, but books are dead. You want a book? Nobody just makes you a book anymore. You got to have a book with gilt edges and 6 ribbons of placeholders, and it comes with a leather cover. And there's a reason why they sell those. It's because they can't sell enough of the ones that don't have all that stuff. Right. So the truth is, this hobby is now about to experience the same thing that a bunch of other industries have experienced with virtualization, and be on the beginning of that. Be on the beginning of that. That's my investment advice for the night. Be on the beginning of that cusp, not trying to reestablish. I mean, somebody pointed out here that 5 years this could last. This could have ripple effects for 5 years. I don't doubt it. But when it comes back, it ain't going to be people coming back and buying more books. It's going to be people immersing themselves in experiences. Games themselves will change. Technology will firmly put its foot in the middle of all of it. And we will go on.
You know, Danny, allow me to interrupt.
That's it.
I'm going to challenge your viewpoints.
You should.
So number one, and again, I brought this up in the earlier segment, but all 4 of us have differing opinions, right? So number one, I don't think you can sell to me how Amazon supports this hobby.
Oh, they don't support the hobby. They support people's paychecks.
For sure, right? Totally get that. They maybe, I could argue, make the game a little bit more accessible to the common person by deep discounting, player books and that sort of thing, right? But your local gaming stores, I will 100% cede that not all of them are well run, and that every single comic book store or hobby store, they have their own niche, right? Like the owner of that store has the thing that they're passionate about, and that's what that store is good at, and they're not good at everything else. It's almost universal in how that works.
Right.
But those of whom are good at the role playing, which is what I am passionate about, and that's therefore I want to see succeed, I think we need to support them. And I do think books always have value. I do think that even in the future where we become completely disconnected, we no longer play face-to-face, I still think books are going to have value, much like vinyl has value again today. People have nostalgia for that. They love that feel, the art, right? There's something indescribable about cracking open a new book and flipping the pages and feeling it in your hands, whereas a PDF is impersonal, and in so much that people will pirate that sort of thing without even a thought, a question. And again, when you pirate PDFs, you have no idea how much that hurts like publishers like myself, right? If I go to the Trove right now, my entire library is up there. Thanks, guys. But you know what? If you download it and you love it, come support me on my website. Buy
yeah, but Brian, I don't think you and I are disagreeing. I think
thanks, Turtle Dove. Thanks for purchasing the pack. Appreciate it.
I fully agree with you, Brian. I'm just saying that you're either on the end of the last train or you're on the beginning of the new one. Oh God.
There's that picture. I knew I had it somewhere. I've forgotten.
What happened?
Nothing happened.
Did you nail him with a?
It was a pic. It was a pic of Danny.
Yeah, I planted it out there a while back ago. So.
I just think if people when people buy a book, I think you were the one who said this to me. There are people who buy a book and they never play it.
Mm-hmm. No cussing for 5 minutes, folks.
Just to collect it. I see the no cussing. And there's people who buy the book and then they do something with it. The people who buy the book to do something with it, the thing they do with it is what matters. That is why what we're doing matters.
Right. Now,
it's not the most important thing in the world, but it matters in the sense that it is heartfelt. So I am not going to worry about making more books. You can go to Crazy Igor's and see that it is absolutely a fact that most books have no value.
Right.
Outstanding reference, by the way. Not everyone.
Thanks, Loki. That. You can fucking cuss again. Loki countered the last fucking.
Thank you, fucking Loki. You're awesome. So I guess I just feel like, did Bruce actually give you that photo?
That was clipped from one of our. That was clipped from like 2 streams ago from one of our Wizards deal.
Turning me out.
And I grabbed
I
it.
just given him that photo.
I guess I just feel like we're either going to cling on to the past or we're going to take this opportunity to pinch it off and let it drop and move on to what's next.
And you've heard that here on Last Call with Brian Berg.
Beautiful analogy.
What's that? What'd you say?
Beautiful analogy.
Jimmy, what'd you say?
I said, and you heard that here on Last Call with Brian Berg, pinching it off. Oh my God, what's that? Oh, that's the Behold. Oh, that's from Big Little China.
Big Trouble in Little China.
That's Big Trouble.
Big Trouble,
Big Trouble in Little China. Yep.
One of my favorite movies.
Awesome stuff. Mark CGM, I think James bought you a loot crate, but he hasn't. You need to register with Stream Loots. Join the dark side. Come over here. Play with us.
And I guess the only thing, I'll shut up after this because I'm obviously drunk, but my dad always tells me this. For hundreds of years ago, thousands of years, people rode horses. And there was always a guy in town who could make a buggy whip for you or make a bridle for you.
Thanks, Jeff.
And then 100 years ago, that shit just went away.
Sure.
And then people learned to adopt a new paradigm. I'm saying we are blessed to be here at the dawn of a new era. And we can either be the people who foster more of this, or we can try to hold on to what's probably literally already gone.
Hey, I've got an announcement to make. James Lewis, you are the first #1 Mug Club member, Wizards Mug Club member. Congratulations.
James Lewis.
I do need your address, so if you will submit your address to wizards@wizco.games, we will get that to you as soon as we can.
He's asking how
someone has gifted you anonymously a Wizards Mug Club.
Ooh, wow.
That's wizco.games/mug club.
A mug.
Oh,
No,
nice.
no, it's this
nice
mug. It's
Jimmy.
this mug. It's
Oh, that
this
mug. Oh, the one we don't have yet. I'm so sorry.
This mug.
Yes, the one he keeps touting that we're going to get.
Complete with engraving. Yeah.
Sometime. He just took the man.
Wizards Mug Club member #1,
I
James
think
Lewis.
Danny's point
Please send me your address.
is very well taken. What about the rest of you guys? Where do you sit on the fence with this?
Matt, you first.
I can't. I'm typing.
I have not been a fan of. So this again is going to get me in trouble because the local gaming stores. I don't go to them. I did 40K for a while, and you have a little fun, but the markups were there. There was one here in town, and I walk in to learn some D&D and see it in action, and I got people stuffing food in their face and their Mountain Dew bottles next to them drinking, and another one clipping their toenails at the table. Lights out, folks. I'm done. Okay, let's get a little person. You're running a damn business, and I know you want to be inclusive, but come on. And so I checked out. I do virtual, but I do believe that. But Andy, we're right there also, and we saw this in full force with the Gary Virtual Con. The number of people that turned that corner to open up, to look at the virtual arena, and jumped on board. One, to support a cause and to support Gary Con, which was the most important. But then also they wanted to play games continually and still be with people and have that interaction. And it was the best of both worlds. And I've been in that, and I'm not going to leave it. I like the virtual
Showered
side.
or unshowered.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Not wearing pants, hey, whatever, okay.
Pants optional gaming.
Exactly.
Matt, what do you think?
I love it.
Sorry.
No, I'm fine. I love the virtual side, but that's what but I think in the business side, this happens. And there are going to be plenty of that fall off the tree, off the vine, and do not grow again. That's business, folks.
I know really good gaming stores that do a phenomenal job. Like to the point where Paizo presented them a medal for the amount of society games that they play. Okay, these are guys that are building the RPG community. They're not there to sell comics and Marvel statues. They're RPG community.
Is anybody doing that without playing cookie cutter games?
Like board games, you mean?
No, but is anybody succeeding in that FLGS space or convention space? How would conventions fare right now if Adventurers League and Pathfinder Society said, we're not going to be at your show? And how would those FLGSs be if they said, don't run our games anymore?
I totally get that. The problem is if I go to run a store, or if I go to the store and run a game right now, it's not incentivized. Whereas the society games are. The game masters get something for their time. The players get something for playing, you know. So I think that's the hurdle we have to overcome.
I have a space in my heart, I guess, for local gaming stores because I used to work in one. One of my
nice.
My second job was the Game Shop in Wichita, Kansas.
Cleverly named.
Long since closed, but yeah, it was your typical D&D miniatures, paint, wargaming. They didn't have any. He did not have. Bob Jacka was the owner's name. Bob Jacka. He's long since passed, but they didn't have any gaming space, which in hindsight would have been awesome. But you know, back in the 80s and 90s, that wasn't. You know, playing in the store was not a thing. At least in Wichita, where I grew up. So I have this natural tendency to lean towards favoring the game stores and trying to support them. But I have to agree on some level, if you're not willing or incapable of adapting to the new climate and trying to come up with innovative ways to keep people and get people into your store, then I can't help you. I can lead the horse to water. I can't make him drink is the saying, right? Speaking of which.
And don't get me wrong either, Brian. I love the idea of all of it. I grew up in this. I had one of those great gaming stores in my hometown. Napoleon's in Milwaukee was just one of those places you went, and it was like entering a fucking museum of awesomeness. But in the end, it's just like too few people, and you have to cater to an audience that's so broad, and I hate to say it, a little bit, they just don't care.
Right.
You know? People come in because they use the tables to play miniatures, which is great. I want people to play miniatures, but they don't give a shit about what you're doing. They're not trying to be quiet for you. It's just, I think we promote this myth, and I guess I feel like I want to tear that myth down so that we can get past it to the reality of what we're going to have to do next. And the longer we pretend, I still want to make books, but from now on, we got to all be making books that are collectible books, because little flat splat books, there's, Crazy Igor's right there. That whole OGL explosion was proof positive.
There's a company out there that recently did like a playtest book, and they had to have a special edition of the playtest book that no one is ever going to use.
Right.
That to me was ridiculous. Right. But whatever. If it sold, well, congratulations. It was worth it, I guess, but seemed ridiculous. I don't know. What is the future of gaming? Like, is it going to become completely impersonal and just online? And people who are like, you know what? Maybe I want to learn how to play D&D. That looks fun. Is it a video game?
It's kind of like a video game.
Right. So
I'd say online gaming is super personal, and it's close enough to being a video game that you'll get a lot of people to play it.
I would agree. But for me, the social aspect of tabletop games is what keeps me coming back. To be totally honest, I love the game, but half of the game for me is hanging out with my buddies and socializing, and it's that, right? It's my Monday night football. It's my poker night. It's right? So yes, can it all be ported over to virtual? Absolutely. But what impact will that have 10 years from now?
I think that somebody in chat, Celestian in chat, was talking about it. Is it really that impersonal online? Or I don't really think that it is. And maybe it's like we started in the couch show. I've been doing this in one form or fashion online for at least the last decade successfully. We started before that trying to do it, but I don't really feel like it's an impersonal. My brain is telling me that I'm sitting here with you dudes right now, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. We're having this conversation. We might as well be sitting on the couch, like hashing it out. And there's other people that are watching, but the same thing's true in a game, I guess. And I agree with Danny in the fact that this is just the evolution. This is the next step. We're forced into it because we are now currently forced into our homes, but this is just the way it's going to.
I think the jury's still out there. And if we're talking about is the online and the virtual side going to overtake the IRL games?
Yep. I think that's going to happen.
So we'll see. But it hopefully is for the better. But I still think that there will still be those. I think we'll still be able, like Beth was saying, and Brian, I agree. Can we inoculate the bad gamers? To be able to still play in front. May not be books anymore. Now you've got D&B. Everybody's going to have a tablet in front of their face. Ramping up stuff, and maybe they're looking at now they've got a TV that's got a digital map on it anymore.
Well, let me throw this out at you guys. What happens when the next generation of D&D is all virtual, and things didn't go your way? Click, I'm out, and you just you leave a game. Because let's face it, that happens in video games all the time, right? You don't like the party that you're with, they're not performing, whatever, and you just leave the group.
Well, okay. Are you actually asking that question, or is it a rhetorical question?
I mean, I'm actually asking the question. I just
the words actually came out of his mouth, so
I do think that this will lead to more.
Danny, I'm just kidding.
This will lead to more impersonal behavior, is what I'm suggesting.
I tend to agree. Yeah, there is some of that for sure. Yeah.
I feel like I only play now with people that I really like.
Good. Will that always be the case?
Sure.
For everyone.
Yeah. No. But right now there's people who don't always play with people they like, and that dude can grab his Mountain Dew and his flaming hot Cheetos and storm off out of your house too.
Right. Sure. Well, I'm looking at Lord Gasumba sitting on here, and he's. I know Jay's talking about their game that they play down in his house, and that'll never change. Those guys will never give up their in real life game, because you better
be giving it up, Jay, right now.
Yeah, no, that's right, Jay. You are. See, Jay,
judging you. You're being judged.
Yes, you're on the dark side, Jay. You just don't know it yet. So those will still be there, but I think there will be a more ramp up or prevalent of the virtual side. It's inherent in who we are and what we're doing. Sorry, folks, but it is.
People want to be social regardless, but that doesn't change the question, though. Is if you what do you have these QQ? They used to call it like the quick quitters, because what do you mean you fireballed me? All right, I'm out, and then they leave the game entirely because they're gonna go pout. They're gonna rage quit. Yeah.
And they can just go pick another pickup group on Roll20 and start playing with.
I can fill that spot though. That person leaves, great. I got a lot of people that want to play.
Yeah. See, so the reason I said I was optimistic before is because dickheads simply are. There's always going to be dickheads. There's not that many dickheads in this culture. Almost everybody I meet, all these people in chat, all of you guys, I came to through gaming.
Except for James Lewis.
Except for James Lewis. He's out. No, I'm teasing. I don't even know James Lewis. And I think I already like him from his comments.
He's a great guy.
There's nobody going to rage quit in my game that isn't going to just do it like, hey, man, I need like 30 minutes to think about how that just happened. I got to go. Okay, fine. We'll talk tomorrow. And if it's somebody who just jumped into a game that I'm running in a convention and they want to rage quit, I hate to be a jerk about it, but fuck that guy. Like if he wants to go, I have better tools for keeping him out of my game in the future now.
Right.
Because I can just block his ass. So
Yeah, there is that.
you know, like if you want to quit, you better know that when you quit, you're done.
It's gone. You're out.
I love
Yeah.
that we were able to present two sides to each coin.
Yeah.
What we've been doing forever.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
You know, because
That's
honestly, I don't disagree with you guys. I have my own opinions about what is best, and I have low hopes for humanity.
Yes, this is very yes.
Oh
So
my.
maybe you're just a little more optimistic than I am.
But and I just saw Turtle Dove. You are one of many. Not trying to, but there are tons of people that are scared and unsure how to get involved and play virtual games. And you're looking at some DMs, and there are plenty in the chat and the groups that we're associated with on our Facebook page. You can get out there and say, "Someone, I would like a little help." And you'll be overrun with people that will do it. I run at least 2 sessions a year, if not more right now, of beginners on my channel. And it is easy to play and get involved, and we take that mystique out. Please jump
Hey, you know what?
come to the dark side, as I call it.
You know
please.
what, fellas? Maybe what this is really telling us is if we have this much disagreement amongst ourselves, and keep in mind, everybody, this is friendly disagreement. This is how grown-ups disagree, and they don't get mad at each other. So, you know, I know everybody in chat knows this, but that's what this is.
For sure.
Maybe what we need to do is start a show on the channel that addresses this very thing. Let's talk about, let maybe not every week, maybe once a month, where we get together and we talk about how to support people better, how to like uplift people, how to get people into games, so on and so forth. Because if we're going to talk about it, we might as well do something about it.
Can we bring 2 politicians from 2 different parties to play D&D with us and get along?
Oh, now that's an interesting idea.
There are politicians that are very open about their love for D&D.
Oh, I like this idea.
I mean, I don't hate that.
It might be harder to do than I think, but no, I totally agree with you, Danny. Great points.
Yeah, I want it. I want everything to stay the same because I'm old. But
Change
things
is
aren't going to
inevitable.
stay but they aren't going to stay the same.
Mhm.
So I can either get on board or I can like watch the train roll by.
For sure.
But we have plenty here, not only you watching, but in chat, all different viewpoints, all different aspects, how we play, and yet we all do get along. We all love chatting about it and helping each other out. And without a doubt, watching what we put together for the virtual VigaryCon solidified that. Just seeing that in action and what was going on, the conversations that we were seeing on Facebook and on the Discord servers was, I'm still going to be talking about it for a while. It wore my ass out. I had a blast doing it, and I'll do it again.
Yep,
Keep
me
doing
too.
it.
So we're about out of time. What's up next? What programming do we have upcoming that people need to pay attention to?
On Thursday, starting at 9 p.m. Central, and beginning with Whose Monster Is It Anyway? Artist Phil Stone and I create a monster each week online with audience participation.
Nice.
Following that, Danny is on with Strange Encounters, where we have been working on a fucking kick-ass adventure for the last 2 weeks, and that is also audience participative.
It
What's the
is.
word?
It's participatory.
Participatory. And
There's drink cards there, too.
yeah, so everybody can come in on that. That's from 10:30 Central to midnight, and that's coming up on Thursday. Then next week, starting on Wednesday, we have Shadow of the Arena, where the 4 of us are going to be players, and by players I mean gladiators, in a Shadow of the Demon Lord game run by 3-time Iron GM Eric Frankhouse.
It's a pushover.
Where we will be put through the ringer for 6 sessions every other week, starting next Wednesday. We can do that live. You, as the audience, can also participate in that game by giving us or taking away weapons, giving us bonuses, thumbs ups or thumbs down, whether or not we live, that sort of thing in the arena.
Please let us live because we got artwork for our characters done, and they're really badass.
And
Yeah.
speaking of which, we're going to be teasing that out over the next week. So stay tuned to not tonight, but stay tuned this week to find out who's playing what and what to expect out of our characters.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say on top of what Matt said there, because in different parts of the country, people mean different things by next Wednesday. Not this coming, but 2 Wednesdays from now is when that will start. That'll be April 15th
Valid.
or thereabouts.
That's
Truth
valid.
extinct.
When I say next Wednesday, because I'm from the central part of the U.S., it's Midwest. When I say next Wednesday, I mean the next week, not
Yep.
tomorrow, or not. Tomorrow. Yeah. No, 2
Guys,
days,
this
whatever it is.
hey Matt,
Yep.
Brian,
It's fucking this
Come by the
fucking-
channel
this
tomorrow
goddamn
night.
lockdown.
Mine.
This goddamn lockdown. I don't know what day of the week it is.
It's
yeah.
we'll be
Brian,
streaming tomorrow night
thanks
on
for-
Predators Rejects.
Thanks for tackling this tonight, dude. Good stuff.
You know, I think we always like try to put some sort of level 6 intelligence towards whatever we talk about. So happy to do that.
Yeah, Celestin, we drank a lot, and Danny's got a ton. Danny, where's your Pyrex glass? Where's that little?
Okay, so just so everybody understands,
This is what he's drinking. out of.
Whiskey
my
can?
glass, my whiskey bottle broke,
Oh.
and not the glass didn't get in it, but there was a crack in the glass, so I had to pour it into something else. And so my wife brought me this Pyrex glass of whiskey,
I love it.
and she said, "You should just pour your drinks out of this." And I said,
Can,
"Okay."
can we get a screenshot of that?
Yeah.
Someone clip that for me, please.
Already done.
All
Already
right,
done.
good. I'll go back.
Here,
and look at it.
here's the
Jeffrey-
shot. Here's the shot you want, Matt.
Perfect.
No, I just wanted to pour it. Oh,
Can you drink it?
I know. Why didn't he drink out of it?
Oh,
No.
for God's sake! It's 11 o'clock. Go to bed.
All right, everybody, thank you so much.
We're
See
out,
you on
folks. Be
Thursday.
good.
Whose monster is it anyway? Whose monster is it anyway? Thursday, 9 p.m. Central.
We'll see ya. Thanks.